Today, we're going to talk about a hidden danger in Parkinson's disease. And no, it's not the tremors or stiffness you might be thinking of. It's actually a major cause of falls, and it can have some pretty serious consequences. So let's just dive right in.
So think about it. If it's not the usual motor symptoms causing these falls, what else could it possibly be? This question, right here, is so important for understanding a hidden issue that affects a massive number of people with Parkinson's.
And when I say massive, I mean it. Just look at these numbers. Somewhere between 30 and almost 60% of people with Parkinson's deal with this condition. I mean, that's a staggering range, and it really shows you just how widespread this thing is. Okay, so this hidden danger has a name. It's called orthostatic hypotension, or just OH for short. It's a huge reason for falls and fainting. But here's the most important thing to remember. It can be managed as long as it's identified correctly.
So what in the world is OH? Well, to put it simply, it's a really sudden drop in your blood pressure the moment you stand up. We're talking about a nosedive of at least 20 points in that top number, your systolic pressure, or 10 points in the bottom one, your diastolic. And this all happens within just 3 minutes of standing up. It's a fast, significant plunge.
Now, a sudden drop in blood pressure like that, it's going to cause some obvious things, right? Dizziness, feeling lightheaded, maybe even fainting. But it can also lead to more subtle problems, things like blurry vision, that feeling of mental fogginess, or just this deep, deep sense of fatigue. These are the real-world symptoms that can seriously impact a person's day-to-day life.
To really get why this happens, I want you to picture your body's blood pressure system as this perfectly tuned barometer. It's always making tiny adjustments to keep everything stable. But with what's called neurogenic OH, that barometer is basically broken.
This slide lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the normal response. You stand up, and these little sensors called baroreceptors immediately notice the change. They tell your nervous system, hey, squeeze the blood vessels, and that pushes blood up to your brain and keeps your pressure stable. Simple. But now look at the right side. With neurogenic OH, that critical chemical signal, it's called norepinephrine, it just fails. The blood vessels never get the message to squeeze, so gravity takes over, blood pools in your legs, and boom, your blood pressure just plummets.
And here's what makes it so tricky. It's not just that the blood pressure drops. The really crucial part is that the body's main backup system completely fails to kick in. See, normally, if your pressure drops, your heart would immediately start beating faster to make up for it. But with neurogenic OH, that just doesn't happen. That built-in, automatic safety net is just gone.
Okay, so now that we understand the problem, let's actually talk about some solutions. The way you manage OH starts with some really foundational non-medication strategies. Let's get into the first part of that toolkit.
So the very first step is kind of like detective work. Your doctors are going to look for anything and everything that could be making the OH worse. This means a full review of all medications, especially certain Parkinson's drugs that can mess with blood pressure, and it also means managing other health conditions like anemia or diabetes that could be adding to the problem.
And this right here, this is the cornerstone of managing OH. It's all about practical, non-drug adjustments you can make. Simple things, like adding a bit more salt and drinking more fluids to boost your blood volume. Or using compression garments to give your blood vessels that extra squeeze they can't do on their own. There are even little physical tricks like crossing your legs or squatting that can give you a quick fix in the moment.
But what happens when all those lifestyle changes just aren't quite enough? Well, that's when we move on to the second part of the toolkit, which focuses on specific medications your doctor might be able to prescribe.
Yeah, so when those day-to-day adjustments don't get you all the way there, medication can be a really powerful next step to talk about with your healthcare team.
This table gives us a great overview of the main options. You've got some, like fludrocortisone, that help your body hold on to salt and water, which boosts blood volume. Then there are others, like the two that are FDA approved, droxidopa and midodrine, that work more directly on that broken signaling system. Droxidopa basically gives your body the building blocks to make more of that norepinephrine signal, while midodrine just directly tells the blood vessels to constrict. As you can see, each one has some really important considerations, which is exactly why having a thorough chat with your doctor is so crucial.
All right, we have covered a lot of ground. So, what are the absolute key things you need to remember to discuss with your doctor? Let's break it down into 5 key points. Number 1. Orthostatic hypotension is super common in Parkinson's, and it's a huge cause of falls. 2. It's happening because the body's automatic blood pressure controller is on the fritz. 3. You always start managing it with lifestyle changes. 4. There are 2 FDA-approved meds out there specifically for this. And finally, number 5, and this is the big one,
This is a manageable symptom. It is not something you just have to accept and live with.
And that really just leaves us with one final and I think crucial question. You know, symptoms like feeling a little lightheaded when you stand up, they can seem kind of minor or maybe totally unrelated to anything else. But as we've just seen, they can be a sign of a really significant and most importantly, treatable issue. So the question is, are you sharing the full picture with your doctor? Because sometimes those hidden symptoms are the ones that hold the key to better management and a much better quality of life.